But nevertheless, I think there are two people I'd like to call up here. Make your way up here. One of them is Gary Peters. Gary, would you make your way up this way? And the other one's Russ Williams. Russ, you come up this way. First representative of the employee staff within the university on the UK Board of Trustees. For all of you that have served for staff and had members on our staff, you recognize that a few years ago it was put into that the fact that the staff would now have a representative on the Board of Trustees. Russ Williams is that individual. I want to recognize him as being very representative of your interest, and likewise this is his first trip to Princeton. He received an invitation here several weeks ago. He called back and said, I'm going to be there. I've never been to that place, and all I hear, that's next to heaven. Now, Russ came earlier. He visited up at the lab buildings. He's visited with a lot of the staff, and he's here to see what we're going on, and I think likewise he makes a concerted effort to be around our campus, our various installations out in the state, to make sure that the staff realizes that they indeed have a sounding on the UK Board of Trustees. Now, I call him up here too because I want him to be involved in recognizing, this is a night we're recognizing old folks, and Gary, I say that proudly, we're going to call you an old folk. About the time I went in administration, in fact July 1, 1969, a young fella came to work for the university here at this station, and at first he was assigned to work with the livestock. Some of you know that I spent a lot of my time as a professor in animal science checking out all kinds of ways we could supplement low-quality forages and corn silage and so forth at this location, and he was the guy with Ralph Overfield that tended to the day-to-day experiments. I'll confess to you the fact that we could bring in 250 feeder steers. We could divide them in half. We'd take randomly, it's experimental design, take half of them to Lexington, leave half of them to Princeton, half of them to Lexington. Invariably, with Gary and Ralph Overfield feeding them and caring for them, we generally would run about a half a pound a day average daily gain better at this station than we would in Lexington. Gary, I finally acknowledge that, and I want to compliment you. When we'd go to scientific meetings, everybody'd say, how do you get that kind of weight? And I said, because I'm so smart. And I confess now, Gary, I think you and Ralph Overfield were responsible for every bit of it. But Gary has completed 30 years of service as a staff member at this station. We have a policy, we give 30-year pins to our employees. Gary was unable, due to a sickness, to be in Lexington to get this pin. And on this occasion, I want y'all to come up here, and we need you, Russ, to be involved in presenting his 30-year pin.